Okay, I'm gonna go to
And
1080. 1018, that's where we are. Okay.
all right, good morning, everybody. I'm here with Ozzy, and we are
Yay.
reading Awake, It's Your Turn by Angelo DeLullo. And I love this book. I love this man. Um,
Yeah.
what an adorable character he is, really.
Well, he's so interesting because he's a doctor too, so it just brings this different flavor to everything, you know? I don't know if it makes it more um, real for me because of it's bridging um, science and spirituality. Uh,
Yeah.
I just shared my computer sound so I can,
Okay.
if you want to
Well,
do the book.
here I'm going to show you something pretty funny. This
Okay.
is this just came up on my feed from, what happened last year, etc. All right, so
Okay.
these are pictures of me. This I'll show you here. This is
Okay.
so cute. All right, this uh oh wait, I'm gonna stop your sound share for a minute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no worries.
Yep,
All good.
okay. So this is okay. This is my mother when she was pregnant with me,
Oh my gosh.
and my older sister, who was also pregnant with my nephew. So my
Wow.
nephew and I were born within months apart. And this is at the alligator farm in
Oh my
Colorado.
God.
There's an
Wow.
alligator farm south of here, down by where, kind of near where Regina's place is, down in La Vita. But this is in over by Hooper. It's in the San Luis Valley. So that's my mom. This is must have been 1952, and my sister.
That's
Um,
amazing. I absolutely love it. It's just like, oh, look at the vehicle even. It's just, and
I
oh,
know.
that's amazing.
And then there's me
I
from
knew that was you.
years
I'm like,
ago.
that's lit. I can see you.
And then this is my older sister, June, who was making herga, which is a Slovenian thing that they make at Christmas time. She married a guy who was Slovenian. And then this is me when I worked for the mine. Look at here I
Wow.
am. This is my little office. I have pictures of my
Wow.
babies up here. Can I make this bigger? I don't know. But
Which
anyway,
which mine? Which
uh,
mine did you work in?
Climax, the Climax mine. It's up
Okay,
by
okay.
Leadville, Colorado. It's up in Climax, Colorado, but by Leadville. And it's a molybdenum mine.
It's a what mine?
Molybdenum, uh,
Okay.
it's a it's an additive they add into steel. But yeah, look at me. Look, I was so skinny back then.
Yeah,
But
look at you. Yeah, with your, yeah, you look so cute. Wow.
but there I am. So there's the life of Lynn.
Nice.
Lynn's mommy,
Love it.
Lynn's sissy, Lynn working, Lynn's other sissy. So I only have one sister left. I had four, but I only have one left. They're all passed away. Anyway, I thought that you would enjoy that.
I did. Thank you. Thank you,
And everybody
Lynn. I
out
love
there
it.
looking on YouTube sees
On the tube of you.
on the tip of you that yes. Um, yeah, and there's an alligator farm in Colorado, actually, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
As we're up and it's over almost a mile in altitude. So where they're at. So yeah, it's up in the mountains. And there's also there's sand dunes over there. There's all kinds of stuff over there. It's really crazy. But anyway, are you ready? We're reading Awake, It's Your Turn by Angela
Yes.
Lulo. And Ozzy is going to play Angelo reading the book, which will save my voice a lot.
Y- Yeah, I'm gonna just why is it not letting me do just the audio now? It won't let me click it even. Let me see if it works. It says it's gonna. Can you?
Who's next?
There we go. Yeah, I see it. I hear it.
Okay, good. Do you want to put the book up or do we have?
I don't know if I can put the book up at the same time you're sharing the sound,
Oh,
but
why
maybe
can't
I can. Let me
we
look.
can
Let me
let
see.
two of us share, right?
I believe it will because I think share screen options. Who
Let
can
more
share?
than
All
one.
participants. No, okay. All participants can share. Okay. But I know that there's also because two can share.
Yes, it must be in the. I wonder if you could. Do you
It
want to give me co-host? Maybe I can find it.
I'll make you co-hoster. I'll make you the co-hoster. All right. All right.
Okay, let me see if I can find anything. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just feel like it's nice to have words, audio, visual, like it's just a nice share screen. Okay, but I clicked it off. Now what's that mean? Yeah,
Do you
but
have
why
the
can't
book on Kindle or anything that you can?
I don't have the book on Kindle. I just have the audio and the um physical book. It might be in the settings actually. Might be in the, the bigger settings when you go
Uh-huh.
in. Oh,
I don't.
wait, here. Who can share? No, it doesn't say. Who can share when someone else is sharing? Host only, all participants. It should work
Oh,
now.
good.
See if you can do it now.
All right. Let me see.
I want to see if that worked.
All right. It's saying it's going to stop your share.
All right, well then, whatever. I thought, okay. I thought we did it last time.
No, I think we let me see. Let me see what we can do. I'm experimenting today. Sharon's not here. We're just
Yeah.
going to experiment. Okay. All right. So there. And how about if I do a side by side? Okay. So now it's showing me and the book. Share option, share sound.
I don't see the book though.
No, I haven't
Oh,
put,
there it is. There's the book
yeah, see if you can.
coming. Yeah. Oh, but don't go side by side. Just do the book
Okay.
because then you got a double profile showing. I know. Yeah, there. Oh, where?
Okay. Let me undo that and redo it. Share. Okay, there's the book. Now you try the sound.
Okay, you still have your
Oh,
profile up there too, because it just, yeah, it
yeah.
only shows half of the book then.
All right, content only. There we go. Try that now. Here, how's that?
Nice. Perfect. There we go. Okay, now can you hear it? Did you hear that?
No.
Shoot. Let me try then again. Actually, I didn't even. That's too funny. Oh yeah, it'll stop the other one. We'll have to. I think you have to do it in the actual. Let me. Well, why don't you just start or why don't I just you
Play
start
Angelo.
reading? Okay.
Okay, I'll stop my share and you play Angelo.
Okay. And then I'll just also look.
Hi, Dad. Good morning. We're having technical fun.
Yeah, techie,
Oh my
screen
Hi,
gosh,
capture.
guys.
day
It's
is
funny to listen to you. Thanks for the pictures, Lynn.
aren't they cute? My mommy was so cute.
I know. So cute. It's
I
right.
forgot
Okay.
Sharon said she wouldn't be here.
Yep.
Next.
Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
Direct experience trumps information. If at any point you're reading along and find yourself overtaken by an experience of expansiveness, interconnectedness, or deep stillness, then just stop reading and turn your attention directly to that experience. Relax into that experience. Give the experience permission to be the only thing that there is. Words on the page aren't going anywhere. They will be here when you return. It is always best to honor your immediate experience. So if something peaceful, wordless, or exceptionally real comes over you, just sit with it. Don't try to make it stay or go. Just let it merge with you. Let it show you its splendor. Let it reveal its nature to you directly, outside of words or concepts. You can even go close your eyes and meditate for a few minutes, or longer if it feels relevant and spontaneous. Better yet, be meditated. This is what you're here for after all. The need to understand. We are fully immersed in the information age. We have ready and efficient access to vast amounts of data on any subject almost anywhere we go. This has a tremendous practical benefit to us. There's a side effect of this, however. We are inundated throughout the day with massive amounts of information through various electronic conduits. It really can be an overloading effect on our psyche. It can also be addictive. Our brains are wired so that the more times we use specific neural pathways, the stronger they get. In this way, we have wired ourselves as voracious information collectors and comparers. When we are deciding where to go on vacation or comparing new cars to purchase, this faculty serves us well. When we're investigating our deepest nature, it can be detrimental. No set of descriptions, data, or information could possibly define the complexity and vastness of what you are, could they? As you read through these chapters and apply this material, please keep in mind that intellectually grasping this material is not your primary goal. If you perceive that conceptual understanding is the point of this endeavor, then you will read it in a way that is somewhat like data collection. On the other hand, if you read it with the intent to experientially incorporate what is pointed to, then you will be oriented in a different sort of way. So I might suggest that while you read and incorporate this information, always give more weight to the sense of what's behind the words. Be more interested in what the words reflect inside of you in an intuitive and physical way than the words themselves. Give yourself permission. When I was younger, I had a lot of difficulty in certain social situations. Celebratory environments, such as parties, often caused me anxiety and frustration. They had exactly the opposite effect on me of what I'd hoped for. I remember looking at people and feeling jealous because they looked so carefree and could enjoy themselves totally. They naturally had fun and moved so spontaneously. No one at these events had to work at being carefree. It was natural for them. It truly dumbfounded me because I was a smart person and good at problem solving. I thought it should be easy to kick off my shoes and relax in social settings, but I never could. It took me a long time to realize that at those times in my life, my heart wasn't into celebrating, escaping, and distracting myself endlessly. Now, if you had asked me then, I would have told you that that is exactly what I wanted. It seemed like the thing to do. I thought I wanted to work and take care of my responsibilities so that when the opportunity arose, I could just let go, have fun, be silly and free. In retrospect, that was the fallacy of false alternatives in operation. I had an unexamined belief that the selection of activities that were available to me was limited to what I had seen others engage in. It seemed that outside of work, school, and family responsibilities, the choice of pastimes was limited to athletics, reading, partying, more work, or various hobbies. Of course, all these are perfectly acceptable ways to spend free time. The problem for me was that I had believed that these were the only possibilities. They were not, but I had never come across a resource or met anyone who presented me with the possibility that I was genuinely interested in. I had to figure it out on my own, and it took me quite some time. Ultimately, I had to give myself permission to acknowledge a possibility I hadn't seen or heard anyone describe, then pursue it. So what was this possibility? I wanted to investigate and ultimately live the deepest truth of what I was. I wanted to live out of an intuitive understanding of the fundamental nature of reality. I also wanted to end my own suffering.
The truth is so lovable that it has only to be known to be embraced. Plutarch.
It is simply not common to find a context for these interests in the usual social.
I just thought I'd give a little pause there in case anybody wants to say anything or comment on what's been read so far.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for playing them. This is wonderful. It's great to hear him. Yeah, I was just thinking myself, has that not always been my experience? And isn't that he seems to think that other people were not experiencing that. But when other people are going to parties and they're getting drunk and high and doing drugs and alcohol or whatever it is that they're doing, they may seem like they're being carefree, but really the only reason that they're seeming like that is because they have left their inhibitions because of the the stuff that they were doing. And it could be, you could be high on love. You're there with somebody that you really appreciate, and or you're there with all your friends and they're all having it's a love fest. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think everybody experiences that at some level, because the ego is never ever happy with anyone or any situation. And so the ego is just going to make you feel like this is my own self. This is how I've always felt, like a fraud. I've always felt like I was fake. I was not being real. And the only way that I could actually relax into that was to, be somebody else. And the only way to be somebody else is either you can dissociate yourself and act like the person that you are pretending to be, or get drunk or high or something, and then you kind of become that person, or you lose control of the person that you are. And I mean, I'm not saying that this is, you know I guess I am saying everybody goes through that. I don't think that his idea that people were happy, relaxed, and having fun, if he had been listening or in their minds, he probably would have noticed that every single one of them was feeling equally insecure and afraid, and equally uncomfortable in their situation, and only acting out in that happy way because that's what made them fit in and feel like they belonged. But the reality of it is they never belonged. They don't belong. It's not because that's an artificial situation. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Anybody else have any thoughts? Deb, or I see Robert came in the room. Thinking Mickey is hanging out in Pal Talk. So I'm going to actually put this up on the Pal Talk so that anybody over there will know to come over here, if you know what I mean. A jelly bean. Oh my goodness, look at there. All of my old searches. We were watching the Avengers movies last night, which I love those Avenger movies so much. But I was looking up, different people, the actors and the characters and whatever. So that's what just came up on my search when I was going to go open the YouTuber. The YouTuber. I love your screen, by the way. That's so beautiful. All right. Here we go. that and into this. So now people on Pal Talk will hear that we're here in the room, and you could come to the Zoom. Hey, that rhymed. We're here in the room, and you could come to the Zoom. And okay. So now, how do I feel? I am like totally comfortable wherever I am and in whatever situation I'm in. Why is that? Because I'm at home in myself. I'm comfortable in myself. I'm comfortable with my life. I'm comfortable with my person. I'm comfortable with my being. And I know that the person, the being that I am, has a tremendous uh, effect on those around me. So, I find it very, very comforting, loving, joyful being me now. But there was a long time that I did not want to be me. Anybody else have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I have to say, Lynn, when you were saying about the fake and you felt like you were, a facade, I felt that same way. And I still do sometimes. Like I'll be just in a situation and it'll come over me. I'll be like, I feel like an actress right now. Like seriously. So I understand that and really appreciate that you share that because I just doesn't make me feel like I'm Lulu. So thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's when we come to that point where we recognize that all of us are in that situation. And when I started seeing that, then the cracks started coming out. You could see, how this person was acting manic, or this person was acting subdued, or this person was acting uh uh joyful, happy, all these different ways that people were presenting themselves. And I could see the cracks in it. I could see the sadness behind the facade. I could see the upset behind the cheerfulness. I mean, how many times have you been at a party or something, or a family gathering or whatever, where people are not getting along, they're fighting, they're arguing, that they're not happy, but they're acting happy because they want to appear to be a certain way, but that appearance is a facade, just like you said. So if you know that they're acting out, but they have a deep sorrow in them. Their hearts are breaking. And so to be with them, or to just be loving with them. And then there are also those people who come to the party who are like I used to always be, where I would just go find a book and go sit in a corner and read, or find a quiet place where nobody was. But now when I'm at these kind of celebrations, I'm looking for, who is feeling left out. And, I gravitate to them and bring them in. You know what I'm saying? So, and Carrie in the Pal Talk room says, yep. Hi, buddy. Good to see you. Anybody else have any thoughts before we go on? And I'm happy with Angelo reading for us. So even though I'm talking like I'm a crazy woman now, I do appreciate
Oh,
my
well,
voice.
okay. So here's the thing that I've learned for the tech. I'm not going to look anymore after this, but what I just read was we can do it both, but I also have to share my screen. I can't just do computer audio. So, and I don't know if if you click the caret by the green up arrow of share, does it say to you, do you get that? Who can start sharing when someone
Yes.
else is sharing? All participants?
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe we could both try to share our screens now and I'll see
Okay.
if I'll just see if it works. You do all,
Okay, it says it's gonna stop yours.
yeah, because I'm just the sound now. Okay.
Okay, so there's that, and let me move up to about where we were.
Yeah, I lost my place now, so whatever. I don't know. Do you hear that? No, I'm not even sharing
Yeah,
it.
what is that? It's pretty.
Well,
Like
you can hear now.
I can hear like an alarm sounding, so
Yeah, that's it. I can't. We're doing it then.
good, we'll do it.
How
So,
we did it. We did it.
all right, so,
No, wait. We didn't do it. It's an alarm on my phone.
well, but if I can hear your phone, wouldn't I be able to hear your speakers? Or,
Well, no, because it was on. If I did it from my phone, I could, but no, it's not gonna work. I'll just check later.
okay,
Forget.
all right, well then,
Sorry.
go ahead. And I think we just read this, which was who was that who said that? The truth is so lovable that it only has only to be known to be embraced. I love that. Plutarch.
Mm. Yeah.
So, all
Isn't
right.
that
Well, I'm gonna
beautiful?
stop sharing and let you. Do you have your place in your book now? Or in your
I think I just no, I'm at the beginning of chapter 2. I gotta. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
no.
I don't think I shared it properly. Sorry.
Yeah, so I stopped my share, so you can share.
Nice. Thank you. Mm, I get it. I get why it does that. Okay, now we go into this.
Into your deepest truth is of value to you is incredibly powerful.
You hear that?
You might not see the effect of this acknowledgement
Yes,
immediately,
we do.
but it is
Hey,
like
I'm
a
in the
message
wrong
sent
spot,
from your
but I'll get
conscious
there
self
one sec.
into a family member. When I was younger, I had a lot of difficulty, and if you had asked me then, I would have told you that that is exactly what I wanted. It seemed like the thing to do. I thought I wanted to work and take care of my responsibilities so that when the opportunity arose, I could just let go, have fun, be silly and free. In retrospect, that was the fallacy of false alternatives in operation. And right now is absolute truth. What is true for you right now? What is the most fundamental sense of reality as you're experiencing it in this moment? The look on their face will say it all. Certainly, there are individuals and groups of people who are
It's
interested in
screwed
these
up.
types of the deepest
Where is it?
truth of what I was. I wanted to live out of an intuitive understanding of the fundamental nature of reality. I also wanted to end my own suffering.
The truth is so lovable that it has only to be known to be embraced. Plutarch.
It is simply not common to find a context for these interests in the usual social situations that we humans encounter on a day-to-day basis. If you want to see what I mean firsthand, you could try the following experiment. The next time you're having a casual conversation with someone, whether it be a friend, family member, or partner, address this directly. Say something like, I do have interest in what we usually talk about, such as our goals, our families, work-related matters, etc. However, what I'm really interested in right now is absolute truth. What is true for you right now? What is the most fundamental sense of reality as you're experiencing it in this moment? The look on their face will say it all. Certainly, there are individuals and groups of people who are interested in these types of conversations, but they're usually found by intentionally seeking them out. It is taboo to talk about a radical and uncompromising pursuit of inner truth. I hope that changes, but until it does, we have to give ourselves permission. I don't mean to criticize the practical ways we communicate, or to suggest that having an interest in waking up to our true nature is better than other pursuits. I don't think it is. However, if a yearning to embody your deepest truth is what really stirs inside you, then there is no substitute. You have every right to address it. You have every right to answer its call. It is possible that no one you know right now would understand this intention, but that doesn't matter. You don't need an external context to validate this natural curiosity and inclination toward truth. You have the right and the power to give your yearning for truth the top priority in your life. This is primarily a heart-level commitment, so you don't need to figure out all of what it means in your life right now. It is simply a matter of acknowledging and giving yourself permission to orient toward the most fundamental and important yearnings in your life.
I just have to say that that was really nice to hear, because sometimes like I get it in my head that this path or doing these classes, joining these groups is also just a story too. And why am I doing that? You know, it's counterintuitive, I say to myself. And what I got from that, well, now I hear this and I like that, because because it is what I think about all the time. It's just a constant, it's almost like an obsession, but it's turning more into an obsession of wanting to know God. And there is this arising of, you know, having more quiet time, that exchange, a relationship more with this yearning of this deepest truth, if that makes sense. So I did appreciate what he's saying here about, you know, if a yearning to embody your deepest truth is what is really stirring inside you, then there is no substitute. You have every right to address it. I just found that really helpful. Thank you.
See, me too. This is Deb, and I too just I was having such an intense release earlier when we stopped that I couldn't even articulate. But it's like this is literally who I am, and have wanted this my whole life and never knew to have that articulate conversation. Like I want to know what your deepest truth is instead of talking about football, for example. You know? And I feel like my soul is exalting over this tiny little moment right now. And I'm so thankful and grateful that it's been presented. And I could tell you the whole story of everything, but there's no point, because Spirit brings us to this release. And it is just release into the truth, I think. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that, Deb. And yeah, it is really honestly, it's something that I've kind of been learning from listening to Rafi a lot. He starts, first off, he is intent on sharing that method. He will do that with the other day when, uh, was it Marine Muldoon's group? Anyway, on Sunday, um, uh, whatever it was, the subject, uh, he came on and, went through the whole thing of, how to do the release, because that's his intention, is for everybody to learn that. And I used to think, well, geez, that's all great. Release, release, release. But, what about the stories that are beyond that are behind all of the upset, behind all of the fears and the anger and the hurt and even the joy and the all behind all of that. What about that? You have to reconcile with that. You have to reconcile. And then the other day I just realized, well, none of it really happened And so I'm only reconciling with something that isn't even here. So I'm not really reconciling at all. All I'm doing is bringing up more stories so that I can justify or rearrange or change, you know, change the outcome in my mind, whatever kind of ideas I have going on. The fact is it never happened. And so the whole idea of just letting it go and saying, otherwise you're making it real. Otherwise you are making it ever have happened. Yes, he did do that to me. Yes, she did say that. Yes, I lost this. It's gone. Whatever it is, none of that is really true at all. Those are just my stories about this experience. And so, I have to kind of try to remember, it doesn't matter what the story is. The story could be I killed my mother. The story could be I fell and broke my head. Doesn't matter. None of that really happened. So let's just get over that and move on to um, the reality of it is that I can let it go, and I can let it go, and I can let it go. And that's all Byron Katie is all about. We haven't really studied Byron Katie lately here in this group. But Katie's whole thing is, what is it? It's a story. And who would I be if I didn't have that story? What would my life be like if I wasn't being motivated by that story? And when I recognize that I that story has nothing to do with me, I let it go because it's not real. And Carrie says, yeah, they're let go. That's it. You just let them go. So I love that. Thank you. So yeah. So Ozzy, you want to play some more?
You
Or
bet.
any comments?
Yeah, maybe Robert has something.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hear some more.
I have lived on the lip of insanity, wanting to know reasons, knocking on a door. It opens. I've been knocking from the inside.
I love that. Hey, I have lived on the lip of insanity, wanting to know reasons, knocking on a door. It opens. I've been knocking from the inside. Wow. Rumi. I love Rumi. Wasn't that great?
Yeah, I love that. I just posted in the chat. So I love
Thank
that.
you.
So
All right.
job. All right, go ahead.
Rumi.
What you want is already here. You carry the innate potential to end your suffering in this lifetime. Even that statement doesn't quite hit the nail on the head. I'll do you one better. Would you believe that the state of non-suffering, the actuality of non-division, is already here? It's not out there somewhere. It's not something that you will go out and find. It's not something that will occur in the future, even though our thoughts will make it appear to be that way. I know this doesn't make sense intellectually. That's perfectly okay. It doesn't have to make sense for it to become a living reality. There's no need to think about or contemplate this truth. At some point, it will hit you over the head. It often comes in an aha moment. You might wonder what value there is in something that cannot be grasped intellectually. Well, it can be helpful to remind yourself of this principle when you start to see the machinery of seeking ramp up in your mind. When you start to notice thoughts or daydreams surface, such as, when I'm finally enlightened, it will be like this and that, you can remind yourself of this simple truth. It's already here. Even if it isn't a moment-to-moment reality for me right now, I trust that it is here, not there, or something that will come later in my life. This affirmation has a way of bringing our attention back into the immediate. We can relax a bit and return our attention to the thoughts, feelings, and sensations of the moment instead of making ourselves endless false promises about the future.
What we are looking for is what is looking.
Everybody here? Anybody want to say anything about that last little bit? I love the St. Francis of Assisi. What we are looking for is what is looking. Beautiful. Okay, I'll keep going.
St. Francis of Assisi.
We will investigate the nature of thought and seeking in later chapters. It will become much clearer how something that is exactly here at all times could become so obscured and projected into an imaginary future. For now, you might take this as a suggestion to cultivate a measure of faith in your innate freedom and peace. The busy life. Life keeps us busy, doesn't it? We have children to raise, relationships to nurture, grades to earn, and jobs to do. For some of us, the demands are even more daunting. We might be taking care of a sick loved one. We might be a single parent with a just barely getting by income, holding 2 jobs to make ends meet. We might be struggling with serious health issues ourselves, and at the same time trying to balance all of our responsibilities. Regardless of the circumstances, life moves on and the demands can be overwhelming at times. So where is there room for the work of investigating our deepest nature? It is a common perception that to wake up, we would have to abandon life as usual and dedicate ourselves to decades of contemplation or meditation in a secluded environment such as a monastery or temple. This turns out not to be true at all. That kind of seclusion can even be counterproductive in the deeper stages of awakening. The most deeply realized people I know are not monastics, priests, monks, or nuns. They are living among us with outwardly ordinary lives. They work full-time jobs and maintain relationships. This can be counterintuitive, but the texture of the busy life is the perfect environment for awakening to occur. One reason for this is that life as usual presents us with situations that can reveal to us the subtlest and most insidious ego structures, which are tendencies to contract into a sense of separation. Stressful environments and challenging interpersonal situations add the necessary texture to bring out deeply buried resistance patterns that can be quite hard to see in a life dedicated solely to quiet contemplation. So how does one approach this awakening endeavor in the context of the busy life? First and foremost, it is important to understand that awakening doesn't just happen during meditation, on retreat, or when you are in the presence of someone who is awakened. In fact, it often occurs out of the blue or in moments when we are not thinking about it or practicing in any specific way. It might seem as if awakening is something that you go out and find like a buried treasure. It is not so much like that. It comes to you. It germinates and flowers in its own time. Your job is to cultivate the soil in preparation. When the soil is properly prepared, awakening comes as naturally as the day follows the night. It can and does come in all different life situations. It can come during a stressful time, or even when life is in crisis. It can come when things are peaceful. It follows no rules. It's also helpful to recognize that uninteresting, mundane, or seemingly boring moments in life are some of the best opportunities. Those times in our day for which we usually perceive no redeeming quality are ripe for investigation. Standing in line at the grocery store is a perfect opportunity to practice. Being stuck in traffic, equally so. Even experiences of restlessness and confusion can be gold mines for inquiry and practicing mindfulness. Encountering people who trigger various emotional responses in you is valuable beyond measure when approached with openness and a willingness to let the situation reveal what it has to offer. Uncomfortable experiences are just as valuable as having peaceful or mystical experiences during meditation. Later, we will cover how to apply practices or inquiries in these moments. For now, here's one of my favorite Zen quotes of all time.
If you consider quietude right and activity wrong, then this is seeking the real aspect by destroying the worldly aspect, seeking nirvana, the peace of extinction, apart from birth and death. When you like quiet and hate activity, this is the time to apply effort. Suddenly, when in the midst of activity, you topple the sense of quietude, that power surpasses quietistic meditation by 1,000,000,000,000 times. Dawei Zhengzhao.
Any comments? I see Lynn put that quote in the chat. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, I found that quote to be really interesting. So when you consider quietude right and activity wrong, then this is seeking the real aspect by destroying the worldly aspect, seeking nirvana, the peace of extinction, apart from birth and death. When you like quiet and hate activity, this is the time to apply effort. Suddenly, when in the midst of activity, you topple the sense of quietude. That power surpasses quietistic meditation by 1,000,000,000,000 times. I love that he said 1,000,000,000,000 times. And that's really, I think that's a Google, I think, I'm not sure. But anyway,
I don't actually understand that quote. How
well,
do you topple it?
yeah,
To
well,
topple the sense of quietude, you rise like I've always tried to practice to know the center, to know the quietude within me, take it everywhere. That is the place of peace. That, and of course, ego activates and we're outside ourselves trying to manipulate and control and but never leaving the presence. I don't understand this at all. Suddenly, when in the midst of activity, you topple the sense of quietude.
right. So it doesn't matter what's going on. All of a sudden, boom, you are in that place. And you could be in the midst of Times Square on New Year's Eve. You could be in the midst of the funeral of your mother. You could be in the midst of having a baby, going through labor. The whatever like ultra stimulation seems to be going on when you overpower that belief that there's something that, oh, I should be meditating, I should be in a quiet place, I should be someplace where I'm not being stimulated in this. He says, then this is seeking the real aspect by destroying the worldly aspect. And so it's not, we don't want to destroy the worldly aspect. We want to just absorb the worldly aspect and be he says, when you like quiet and hate activity, this is the time to apply effort. When I'm in a place where I'm being overstimulated, this is the time to overcome that, to move above the battleground, above the crowd, to become quiet in the midst of all of that. And so I think when he's talking about toppling the sense of quietude, meaning you go over the top of it all, with the sense of quietude that you absolutely, and maybe he's going to talk about this more later, so I'm not going to, make an idiot out of myself by saying this is what I think, but I think that's what he's saying here is that, when it's like that poem by Rudyard Kipling called If you can, keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. It goes through all these different ways that um, you are being kept like unclear, unhappy, whatever. And then, if you can overcome all of that, then he says, what's more, you will be a man, my son, which is kind of a, thing. But anyway, Oddsy has her hand up. Go ahead, Oddsy.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Excuse me. It's interesting, Deb, because you didn't understand the end part, and I was still struggling with the first sentence because it's actually, to me, was saying if you consider quietude right and activity wrong, then this is seeking the real aspect by destroying the worldly aspect, seeking nirvana, the peace of extinction apart from birth and death. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is he saying that if I'm considering quietude right and activity wrong, that's right, that's like a real aspect? And then I realized that because that is an sort of a beginning step to watching the mind type of thing. I'm trying to decide that the quiet is what I need, not all this hustle and bustle. So that's okay. But then he goes on to say, now because at first I'm just considering that it's right and wrong, but in the next sentence, I am preferring when I like quiet and hate activity, this is the time to apply the effort because now I've made a judgment. I like to be in the quiet. I don't want to be in activity. So now I can apply that effort and say, whatever it is, Jesus, look at this with me because I'm wanting to just be quiet and I don't want to go do whatever. And so that effort is a choice, I think, because then that last part I do get that. It's like, because then no matter what's happening, it's meditation. It's like the living meditation that Adi Ashante talks about. I don't have to go and sit in quiet now. I don't have to go do that to experience that sense of quietude, that innermost sense of myself. That's what I got out of it. And then Robert in the chat said, this is similar to movie scenes where the figure is in the midst of noise and the noise still going on around him subsides in his mind and the scene becomes a blur. That's nice. Thanks, Robert. Thank you. And welcome, Tina. Sorry, and I'll pass the mic back to Lynn.
All right. I think this is a great discussion. I'm interested to hear what he says about this. So we have, oh no, our time is almost up. Oh my gosh. We have like 2 minutes left. That's all right. We're going to play this a little bit longer and then we'll switch over to the other book that we're reading.
Okay, sure. I'll finish this section
Okay.
up to no escape. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
1,000,000 billion times. That is where you're headed. This is an expression of the natural state of reality and seamless immersion into it. If that is the natural state, you might wonder what is getting in the way of living it at this very moment. Well, it turns out very little, actually. What this really comes down to is recognizing and reversing the ways in which we habitually reject life at various levels through perceptual distortion. By experiencing reality through the layers of perceptual filters, we subtly, and at other times not so subtly, reject our momentary experience. We do this through habituation, and we don't realize the cost. This rejection is human nature, or at least it is from the collective human delusion of separation. When all is said and done, what liberation truly means is that we are so completely absorbed in the momentary flow of life that there is not the slightest rejection of the moment or situation. Only then is true freedom and radical intimacy seen to be the simple and obvious nature of things, rather than some goal to be achieved. So even though we often feel out of contact with the moment, we needn't become discouraged because life is so busy. The busy life continually exposes us to situations and textures necessary to realize and embody our innate free nature. For now, you don't have to worry about knowing what to do in moments where you feel out of contact. It is enough to simply recognize and trust that your life, exactly as it is right now, is the perfect environment for awakening. Inquiries and practices will come later. For now, just make some room for the possibility that your day is full of endless opportunities to come in contact with your undivided nature. At deeper stages of realization, it becomes clear that every moment is perfectly choreographed for further deepening of insight and liberation. The universe is on your side, fully on your side.
And
Thank
that's the
you.
end of that section. Thank you so much, Lynn.
I love it. Thank you, Ozzy. What a great, I love this book. I'm glad we're reading it. I know we read it in Awakening Together. I know Angelo came to Awakening Together for a satsang. I know Lynn Castaldo read this whole book on Pal Talk. It just, the more I hear it, the more I'm connected to it. So I love it. And I love